One low-life piece of human trash got 5 women pregnant at the same time, then convinced them it was okay. Every day I see the world getting a little more disturbing, but this might go down in history as a landmark moment. It's a moment where people officially stopped having shame and common decency has deceased. Remember what shame was? They wrote an entire book about it, The Scarlet Letter. This woman, Hester Prynne, had a baby out of wedlock, and back in the 1850s, this was a devastating embarrassment, and it showed a lack of self-control, weak character, and low moral standards. But cut to today. There are no moral values anymore. We're surrounded by people who get successful by showing pictures of their butthole to lonely strangers online. People who get rich by selling their used bathwater, and extremely pathetic girls who sell themselves to rich old men to pay off student loans they were tricked into buying. I blame all of this on feminism. We'll get there. I don't want to spoil the punchline. This guy is Lizzie Ashley, a 29-year-old Brooklyn musician. He managed to impregnate 5 women at the same time. The story of the day is about a young man who's actually raping young women and polluting the world with future degenerates. That sounds a little harsh. Please, let me explain. This piece of absolute garbage has managed to impregnate 5 women, like I said, at the same time. Then he convinced these women to be okay with it and celebrate the fact that they are all worthless and they've sold themselves into a life of poverty, misery, and loneliness. Now, if you watch any of the Manosphere channels, you'll hear statistics about how 90% of all women want the top 10% of all guys. Well, this guy's young, thin, tall, and a musician. He's got that bad boy thing working for him. So he gets to sleep with lots of women. If he got 5 pregnant, that we know about, he most likely has slept with hundreds of women just this year. It's just a speculation, but I bet I'm close. This is a perfect example of women who are told they can do anything a man can do, including sleeping around like it doesn't have consequences. Now, any good woman would avoid a guy like this at all costs. But these girls, they were lied to. They were lied to by feminism. They were lied to by this guy. I have a feeling that when women are seeking a guy in their life, they look for certain traits. Attractiveness, ability to provide, kindness perhaps. This guy provides none of those attributes. There's no possible way for him to provide for any of these children. It'll be impossible for him to be a supportive partner to 5 women. Okay, sure. The women can hunt him down through family court and attempt to attach themselves to any future income by this musician, but he'll never earn enough to provide for 5 families. So statistically, he will probably disappear by fleeing to another country, or probably get arrested, where he'll no longer be able to earn any income. So we're looking at a future where he's a deadbeat who cannot provide for his children, or the mothers of his children. Now don't worry, the welfare system will step in and provide all the benefits for these kids, by demanding that you pay for it, of course. Now this guy, he's barely a man. He's a low IQ idiot who has no impulse control or any ability to look into the future. He treats women like simple plumbing to fulfill his physical desires. But the women, they don't escape blame either. See, women control access to sex. These women traded a future for a one-night stand. They also have low impulse control. Now they're burdened with a long, lonely life as a single mom. Ask any red-pilled community, and single moms are not desirable. Why would any high-value man want to raise another man's child? These single moms are as toxic as anthrax and should be avoided at all costs. See, these women have already proved they make bad choices, and a rational man would be suicidal to attach his future to a woman like this. So any future chances of finding a husband, they're limited to lower-class men, Tier 2, Tier 3, even worse. They get the scraps that are left over. or they marry the state and live off benefits until they die, all alone, in a government-run nursing home. So I'm looking at these pics of these 5 girls who were all pregnant by the same guy. They're celebrating a baby shower that is steeped in sadness and bad choices. Oh yeah, these girls look happy, but they're doomed to a future that's going to be sad, lonely, and desperate. There'll be no father for these children. There'll be no husband to hold them at night. There will not be a male role model to help plan for the future. Who will fix the clogged sink? Who will investigate the bump in the night? Who will shovel the snow in the freezing morning to get the cars out? I mean, welfare can only provide so much, and none of that stuff is on the list. I have mixed feelings. I kind of feel sorry for these women. I mean, they were lied to. This future is a disaster. And no one told them that this kind of future exists or even how to avoid it. But then again, this is what feminism promised. Women are equal. They can do anything a man can do, sexual revolution and all that. Feminism has ruined modern women. I'm not suggesting that women retreat to the Stone Age where they're just property of men. But women need to realize that the rules that allowed society to survive and thrive for centuries, those rules were there for a reason. Women need to protect their virtue and stop sleeping with 1,000 men because it feels good. If this social disaster continues for much longer, we're going to revert to tribalism.
I'm pregnant again!
I got too many damn kids. Thought you was on the pill or some shit.
Hell no!
Must have been thinking of Brittany.
Brittany? No, you didn't.
The most aggressive men will continue to breed and have hundreds of children. They will become progressively more aggressive and violent. The high IQ population will be choked out.
Come on over here, bitch! He don't care about you!
Yeah, well, there must be something he likes over here.
You mean nothing to me, baby? Oh, shit. It wasn't me! It wasn't me!
And we'll be heading into an extremely violent future. So these girls are just a symbol for the degradation of society. They traded a human life, their unborn children, for a roll in the hay with a pretty, fast-talking loser.
Yeah! I'm gonna fuck all of y'all! That's my boy!
I can't say enough these girls' lives are ruined. This is a perfect example of how modern women have no value on their lives. Their children's lives are their future. And look at them, just posing like they're celebrities. The future's bleak. I'm not sure how to paint a pretty picture for this one. When welfare runs out, this is gonna be ugly. Does anybody want to tell them that all of the welfare money is being given to the illegal immigrants? But seriously, if you could go back in time and speak with these women, what would you say? Do you think their future is going to be as bad as I think? Do you think it'll be worse? And how does this reflect on society? I mean, so many questions about this one. Do you even feel sorry for the children? Is their life going to be harder? I don't think we're going to get any updates in a few years to see how the kids are doing. He's just a simple street musician busking for coins on the sidewalk in New York City. I mean, that's a tough way to make a living for 5 families.